from your target. Let's just recall what we're going to do. These guys have got the body armor on. Only shoot in the face. I'm going to shoot 3 in the one on the left and 2 on the right. Take my command. Welcome to this line. Left foot forward, get to the knee. Good. Good. Love the action. We're going to go downward position. Up to shooting position. Sight control. Sight control. Pick up the trigger and swing.
No, it isn't. It's a 640-1. 640-1, 357. Now there should be cleaning.
So that is different from mine.
You?
Because I have a 640.
And you wipe it down. Kind of have fun with putting the black out. Okay? I'll give you a good start. Just wipe it down. go because
You need shots of women cleaning, right, Petrangelo, huh?
I don't know. Mike said he wanted some rain shots, so he originally told me to come out for the speeches, and then he said, well, I'd get some rain shots too, so unless you women talk more than 4 hours or 3 hours, we're in trouble.
I'm gonna use my black to get the black off the outside of the gun toothbrush.
Dan, how old you got to be for hunter safety? 11 by 13, 13 or 12 by 12. Okay. Boys and girls, 12. Are you able to 12 by the end of this year?
We are going to be bringing her back a couple times this year to do additional training, so I would really encourage you to get your name on the list here tonight, because those who came tonight will get first crack at the classes that we'll be doing in the fall, and it is an incredible experience. My adrenaline is still pumping. We did some stuff that I had never even imagined, and I feel, having taken my original training from Mike Hoban, who has trained thousands of women aged 9 to 90 in the years that he's been working with Michigan Weapons Safety Association. And that was a tremendous experience, but the advanced training was just absolutely incredible. One of the things that Mike did in the course of training women was the 40 women that trained at the Sweetest Day shoot out in Shiawassee County that was filmed by the Discovery Channel for their series on guns. So we had a whole lot of ladies training out there, and part of the reason. One of the reasons why I didn't get started on time was I was out speaking with a reporter from the Detroit Free Press. And he asked me, no, it wasn't Hugh McDermott. One of the things that he asked me is, why is Grassroots sponsoring a women's empowerment seminar and training classes for women? And that is because, as you know, Grassroots is absolutely committed to seeing concealed carry legislation, seeing the concealed carry laws in this state reformed to make it possible for law-abiding citizens to get a permit to carry if they so choose. And we believe, because we've been shown in the other states across the country, and there are 31 other states that grant their citizens these permits that we are currently denied here in Michigan. There are 31 other states. And in each of those states, it was the women that made it happen. We have got to take this issue away from the guys. We've got to change the face of the issue. It is not an issue of the angry white male. It is an issue for women. Women are the victims of crime in the vast majority of the cases. Women are they don't call it the great equalizer for nothing, my friends. We are the ones who need to be able to protect ourselves and our children. We know that the cops can't do it, and more often than not, now that we're out there in the workplace, coming home late at night, we are the ones who need to be able to protect ourselves more than any other segment of society. And we are the ones who are going to have to step forward and pick up the ball and run with it and make it happen here in Michigan. So we are determined to make this a woman's issue. And it's not the issue of the angry white male. It is the issue of the angry female who is tired of being the victim, who is tired of being told not to resist an attacker. I mean that sincerely, my friends. I did a radio interview with an individual from Handgun Control, who shall remain nameless, and he said to me, well, you know, law enforcement says that, you know, if you're attacked, the best thing that you can do is just submit. Submit. You know, submit. In a world where rape can be a death sentence, in a world where if you don't have bruises to show that you did indeed resist, you know, you're going to get drugged through the court system, and some smarty pants lawyer is going to say that you asked for it. We have to resist every step of the way, and the best way to do that is with a weapon. And so that's one of the reasons why Grassroots has picked this up, and we are working to make women the face of the issue. So once again, I would encourage you to sign up, you know, on one of the sign-up sheets at the two Grassroots tables, because when the hearings happen in Lansing again over concealed carry reform legislation, we need to pack that testimony room with women. Okay, I want to have at least the first 5 rows loaded, so to speak, with ladies who are there to testify and say, give me my rights. No longer deny me the ability to protect myself. Beyond that, how many of you, this is the first time you've ever come to a Grassroots event? Okay, good. And you heard about it on Mark Scott's show or Ted Nugent? Or you got the postcard? Okay, great. Ted has been super, one of our greatest supporters. And Mark, of course, has been with us just from the very beginning. Let me give you just a little bit of background information on Grassroots. We were founded in 1994, and Grassroots' mission is to target and remove from office any elected official who would deny our right to keep and bear arms. And we are a nonpartisan organization. We don't care whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian. Doesn't matter. We are about targeting, so to speak, elected legislators, okay, who would deny us the right to keep and bear arms. And we do this through a system of pledges. Our membership make a pledge what they would be willing to commit to remove that legislator. And unlike other organizations, you don't ever send your pledged money to Grassroots. Okay, we don't want you to send your pledge to us, because if we were to do that and turn around and send it to a political campaign, that would make us a political action committee, and we're not. What we ask our membership to do is just say, okay, in 1998, I can afford $50 or $100 or $20 or whatever, and then they fill out their pledge, and having done that, once we have selected our targets based upon their voting history, where they stand on the gun issue, we'll select 1 or 2 either legislative or judicial races and let our membership know what the targeted races are, and then our members send that pledged amount directly to the opponent of the anti-gunner. So the money never gets sent to Grassroots, it gets sent directly to the candidate who is going to beat the anti-gun elected official. When we first started this, we thought that we had a pretty good idea, but we really weren't sure whether or not it would work. And in the 1996 elections, we targeted a gentleman by the name of Jim Ryan. Now, Mr. Ryan from Dearborn Heights had campaigned pro-gun. He had an A rating from the NRA. He had taken, in his election in 1994, he had taken the support. Gun owners turned out for him, walked the streets for him, volunteered for him. And then in 1995, when the concealed carry legislation was before the Judiciary Committee, he bailed. He turned around and stabbed us in the back and voted against it. Indeed, he lobbied against it. He talked to his fellow legislators about making sure that it never came out of committee. And we determined that the most important thing that we could do was to remove the traitors in our ranks. And so we targeted Jim Ryan. And our membership, after we announced the targeted race and sent out the letters, contributed over $10,000 to Mr. Ryan's opponent, Bob Brown. And Mr. Brown, and indeed that $10,000 represented 20% of Mr. Brown's entire campaign budget came from gun owners. And let me tell you, since that day, Bob Brown has been extremely pro-gun. And getting more so every day. And of course, Bob Brown is a Democrat. And the overall, they keep telling us that concealed carry is dead in the state of Michigan because we have a Democratic majority in the House of Representatives. My friends, that's just not true. Mr. Brown and a lot of the other Dems are with us on the issue, and we are working to line up more of them every day. I'm going to see them, myself and a couple of other ladies, Arlen Afton from Families of Michigan for Concealed Carry, and Joanna Sturgeon from MGO. We spend a day a week up talking to legislators about this issue, mostly women legislators, and I am pleased to tell you that we have a list now of Democrats who are with us on the issue, and we're working to get more constantly. So that's what we've been up to in that regard. But anyway, back to the grassroots mission. So in the elections of 1996, we targeted Jim Ryan. Our membership put 10 grand into Bob Brown's campaign, 20% of his overall budget, and Mr. Ryan lost by 245 votes. Okay? And they know it was us. The one thing that I can tell you for sure, as I've been going around Lansing, is they know. Now, the Republicans have kind of been in denial about it. They oh no, we didn't do enough polling or something. The Dems all know. The Democrats absolutely know that it was us. And right up to Curtis Hertel's office, we met with Mr. Hertel's legislative assistant last week, and she said, oh yeah, we know. We know why it is that Bob Brown was elected. And we know that you guys were partially responsible for the fact that there's a Democrat majority. And that was tough for our membership, who most of them are conservatives. And and it's one of the things we've been saying. If our membership will kick in that kind of money for a Democrat, just imagine how much fun they'll have taken out a couple if we need to. Okay? So, anyway, so that's what we've been doing. You got the envelopes back there on the table, Bruce? Okay. Do you want to pass them out? I'm going to pass around an envelope which we use for our pledging system. If you are not already a grassroots member or a grassroots pledger and would like to fill out one of those envelopes and drop it off at either one of the tables on your way out, that would be helpful. As I said, whatever you can afford to pledge, we won't be calling on you to actually send that money in until 1998. And perhaps we'd really like to do some judges this time because, as you know, an awful lot of legislation is taking place in the judiciary where it doesn't belong. So, let's see, what else do in addition, we also did a class in Battle Creek over the course of this weekend. So we got 40 more women trained in how to handle their weapons with Paxton Quigley over the weekend, and we're very, very proud of that. The ladies that I mentioned, yes, Renee, did I miss something?
Yes, on the envelopes, don't be quick to pass them along. There's also a little square if you'd like to be a volunteer to grassroots. If you can't give money or pledge money, be a volunteer. We can use your help. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, volunteers are the heart of our organization. The board of directors and the volunteers work very closely to make things like this and our other events, the gun shows, come off. So yes, please, if you could spare an hour or two, we could use your help. Alrighty then. I want to introduce you to two of the other warrior women, Arlen Afton and Joanna Sturgeon, to give you just a little bit, about a couple minutes of information on their organization. And first of all, is Arlen, you're over there, okay. Arlen Acton came all the way from Grand Rapids, as she does on a regular basis. She is one of my fellow meet and greet the legislators, and she's with Families of Michigan for Concealed Carry. Arlen, come on up and say a couple words. She loves this process.
Hi, everybody. I'm with Families of Michigan for Concealed Carry. And when my husband and I started this organization approximately a year ago, we set out to keep people informed. That's mainly what our organization is about. We both testified at the hearings in Lansing when Mr. Cropsey's last legislation was in the committee hearings. And one thing that we heard from a lot of representatives was, if all these people want concealed carry, where are they? Why aren't they writing us? Why aren't they calling us? And Mr. Cropsey was deluged with people calling him. So much that he had to put a recording on his telephone and they weren't even answering it anymore. And yet people weren't calling their own legislators and letting them know. That's what we have set out to do, is activate people on an individual basis, because we have national gun organizations that do a lot, mostly on a national level. They do get involved on a state level, but the grassroots level is really where we need the activation. We need individuals who are going to write their legislators, talk to their sheriffs in their own counties, talk to their own prosecutors, because if a legislator has a sheriff and a prosecutor that say, well, there's nobody in our county that's protesting the gun boards or raising a fuss in our county, we don't want you to vote for this legislation. The legislator is not going to vote for it. And this is what we're hearing from the legislators in Lansing. We need to be vocal. We need to let them know what it is that we want and do it in a way that is not in your face, but giving them the facts. That's another thing that we found, is that a lot of the legislators are very uninformed on this issue. And that's one of the things that we strive to do, is educate people on what is happening, not only on a state level, but in the local county gun boards. We have a yearly subscription to our newsletter. It's only $12 a year, and we try to keep the price low so anybody can afford to do it. And we put in there information on what's happening on local levels, state levels, the national level, and globally. Because the UN, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the conference in Vienna a couple of weeks ago. The UN is after not only my guns and your guns, but everyone's guns. And here in the United States, those of you that have picked up our information on the table back there, there's a letter in there from the U.S. Justice Department, Ronnie Edelman, stating that the United States government does not recognize any individual's right to own firearms, possess firearms of any kind. And this is, you know, a lot of people say, well, we've been hearing that for years. Well, they're putting it in writing. And just last week, Mr. Lautenberg, who some of you are familiar with, who introduced a domestic violence gun ban for life, he introduced a bill a couple of weeks ago that bans concealed carry in the United States, except for law enforcement. We need to be active, contact our legislators on both the state level and the national level. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, we'll try to keep you informed. We try to give people tips on what to say, who to contact, and so forth, and let people know what's going on all over it. So, thank you very much for your time.
And you told me you weren't a public speaker.
She's a really good shot.
Arlen, give your address so we get it on the video.
Address and phone number, because this will go out to a lot of other people.
Okay. Our address, Families of Michigan for Concealed Carry, and that's P.O. Box 2524, Grand Rapids, Michigan. The zip is 49501-2524. Our telephone number is area code 616-243-4790, and our email address is ccw@triton, triton.net, N-E-T. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Arlen. You know, she told me she wasn't a public speaker. I love it. Okay. Joanna, you with us? Real quick, I'd also like to introduce you to Joanna Sturgeon, one of the other warrior women with weapons. And that's our working title of our group. And come on up, Joanna, and tell them just a little bit about what you're doing with MGO. Joanna Sturgeon. Well, I'm here tonight representing two facets of my multi-talented personality. MGO is Michigan Gun Owners, and it is the educational aspect that I'm involved in. We promote people to get involved, we've initiated a Right to Keep Your Right campaign, where we encourage our members to send postcards, write personal letters, and basically get in the face of their legislators to let them know what we want and how we want it, and how important it is for them to listen to us, or perhaps they really don't want to be our legislators very long. And it's working. We've gotten a number of responses back. Our members have come forward and handed us letters that their various representatives and senators have responded. Some of the responses are very good and encouraging. Some are kind of what we expected to get from them, and we keep a list of that, and we will make sure that the membership is aware when election time comes, just what kind of response certain people are giving us. We are going to be posting our responses to make them available to the membership as we get a little bit more compiled. Right now, you know, there's not as many as I'd like to have to be able to hand out to people, but just as soon as we have that, you know, put together, it'll be in your hands. We are desperately seeking for volunteers to get involved. If you want to do anything, all you have to do is be in touch with us. Believe me, we can put you to work. And it's fun, it's interesting. We do a lot of different special events. We do some joint endeavors with grassroots, and we do a lot of our own just on the grounds of Michigan Gun Owners. We have representation at the different gun shows. We can help you find all the different channels that you need to be involved in or need to seek after, whether it be legal type questions, or just want to get out and be able to get connected with ranges that you can work with, or just people like-minded. The number to reach us at Michigan Gun Owners, there's a 313 number, which is 313-427-7629. And there is one in the 810 area code, which actually that's the 248 area code now. They've just recently changed that. It's 248-478-7686. That number can be answered by a person in the daytime and by a machine in the evening, but we do check it, so you know you would be able to get connected with someone right away. There is also the instructional aspect that I'm involved in through Michigan Weapons Safety Association, where we do provide training and instruction, both in basic instruction or even some advanced instruction. We do offer CCW training, so if someone isn't interested in that, we can hook you up to Michigan Weapons Safety Association. In the very near future, I'm going to be initiating a pilot program, which is specifically detailed for women. It's going to be titled Survive, which stands for Sisters Understanding the Realities of victory in violent encounters that deals with both, well, all aspects of self-defense, not just firearms. So if you are interested in getting involved in that, and you're not really sure you want to get involved with firearms, that's fine. I can set you up however you need to feel confident about involving yourself in your own empowerment. So the number that you can reach for that one is also 248-478-7686. And that again is Michigan Weapons Safety Association. So if you have any questions, someone will be out in the lobby or I will, and I can answer your questions. And I thank you very much.